Greetings, citizens of the internet. Welcome to Roll and Move Reviews, a show about board games and card games and dice games and any other kind of fun games we can find. My name's Kirk, I'm your host. Thank you so much for watching. Today the game we're going to talk about is Sunrise City from Clever Mojo Games. This is a city building game where we're actually going to build our city three-dimensionally and attempt to become the best city builder. That's a thing, right? And score the most points to win. So let's take a look and see what we think. Before we dive into the game, I'm going to show you the scoreboard and explain how scoring works. As I'm walking you through, I'm going to talk about a lot of different ways that you can score points within the game. However, those points aren't what counts at the end of the game to determine the winner. As you score points in the game, you're going to move up this track. Every time you score enough to pass the star and go back to the beginning, you're going to earn one of these cool little wooden star chips, which are called benchmark tokens. If you work on a scoring play so that you land on the star at the end of the play, you score 2 of these puppies. At the end of the game, the winner is whoever has the most benchmark tokens, not necessarily whoever scored the most points and moved the most on the track. The benchmark tokens are your ultimate goal. You begin the game by selecting your roles. You do this through a draft. Everybody takes a hand of roll cards, picks the one they like the best, passes the rest on to the next player. From those cards, you pick the next role you want to play, and so on until everybody has 3 role cards to select from, because the game's played in 3 rounds, and you'll play 1 role every round. These rounds all have special abilities that are somehow going to help you, and will almost certainly screw things up for the other players. These role cards also determine initiative. Whoever plays the lowest number on the role card will be first player in a round. Once rules are selected, you begin play. Like I said, you play the game out in 3 rounds, and each round is made up of 3 main phases. The first phase is your zoning phase, and that's when you start laying out these zoning tiles. You have all different kinds of tiles. You have red for residential, yellow for industrial, green for parks and rec, blue for commercial, and purple is wild. I know there'll be some debate because people are going to look at these 2 tiles and just see 2 slightly different shades of purple, but fortunately we have these symbols to show us exactly what the tile is. In this phase, we just simply take turns laying down and building zones around City Hall. As long as you connect the sidewalk somewhere, it's a legal move. And if you can connect 2 of the same types of zone, you start building a district, and you score bonus points for that. Each player has 4 tiles to lay down. Once those are all placed, you move on to the next round. After all the zones are set for a round, you begin the bidding phase. In the bidding phase, each player takes these bidding chips of their color, and they take turns bidding on the zones they want to build on. So maybe red wants to build here, yellow wants to build here, green wants to go here, but say blue wants this spot too, they can put that on top there. On their turn, red can go back on top, and you can compete like that in the bidding phase. At the end, only the chip on top is going to get the spot. Yellow sees them battling over here. He wants to make sure he locks this spot down here. So if you put down 2 chips, one of your own on top of another, you've locked that down, no one else can bid on it. So bidding will continue like that until everybody's placed their chips. You remove everything underneath any of the top chips, and you're ready to build. At this point, we begin our building phase. In the building phase, we take a hand of these really nice looking, really solid building tiles, and we start building up the city. Where you can build depends on where you bid. As you can see, these tiles have 2 segments to them, so you have to have a bidding chip in at least one of the segments where you plan to build. So let's take, for example, this corner up here. Yellow decides that they want to build right here, and they can do that because they control this green zone with that bidding chip. Scoring works like this. You get the middle number for laying down the tile, and you get these points on the side if you control either of those segments with a bidding chip. So in this case here, if yellow built that tile there, they get the 5 for laying the tile, and 4 for controlling the green zone, and red will get the 1 point for controlling the red zone. So as bidding chips come off, that goes down. Down in this other corner, blue controls both of these tiles, So the blue player decides that they want to play this. They would get 7 points for playing it, 4 for controlling the green, 3 for controlling the yellow. That's a pretty good play. Now up in this corner, red has one of their chips on a wild token, or a wild tile, so they decide they're going to play this double green. They play this down, they're going to get 8 points for playing it, and 4 points for controlling the zone on the left. Since the zone on the right is empty, no one would score there. As the game progresses, the board is going to get more spread out and more three-dimensional. As you can see here, there's more zoning tiles, and the building tiles are starting to stack on top of each other. At certain places, they're crisscrossing like that, which is a perfectly legal move. The only difference in building the upper levels here is that once you are off the zone tiles, you no longer have to have bidding chips down to build. You only have to match the segments that are already there on the existing tile. And also, you no longer score the separate segment points. You only get the middle points for laying the tile. Every building phase, each player will have 4 tiles to play. Once those have all been placed and points have been scored, you go back, start the next round. After 3 rounds, whoever has scored the most benchmark tokens wins the game. First thing I ever noticed about Sunrise City before I ever played it or even really had read or heard anything about it was when I picked it up off the shelf how heavy it was. It's a very substantial game, feels like an overfunded Kickstarter, and when you open it up, that's really what it looks like. The game is just packed with everything. I mean, you get all these star scoring tokens, you get all these different colored bidding chips, both of those are made out of wood. You get all these really nice looking zoning tiles, all the different colors. And the best component in a game full of great components are these building tiles, which are just, I mean, just really nice looking, really solid. These are cardboard, but to be honest, they might as well be wood for how solid they are. Just really good pieces. I can't say enough about the components of this game and just how well made they are. Just really nice looking too. Great artwork. Everything's really colorful. Got that really neat Art Deco look to it. At least I think that's Art Deco. That's Art Deco, right? We'll call it Art Deco. But whatever it is, it's really cool looking. Even the box cover, the art has that really sleek white and gold motif, which I really like and just is really pretty. So everything about this game, the look, the feel, just top marks for that. Gameplay-wise, I like all the different phases. The roles are really neat. That role selection adds a lot to the game. It gives a little character. You have these stereotypical roles, lawyers and protesters, and they all do kind of what you would expect them to do and get on your nerves the same way those characters might. So there's a lot of joking and fun there. And I like the strategy of not only selecting your roles, but having to select what round they'll be most beneficial in. That's a really important decision in the game and really helps determine the outcome. The strategy of the phases, I like the way that plays out because when you begin the round, you have your zoning tiles and your bidding tiles in your hand at the same time. So you're deciding where you're going to build, where you're going to zone, what tiles you're going to bid on. The bidding is really exciting because you're competing with different people and trying to if somebody wants the same spot, you're going to be throwing a lot of bidding tiles down, and who's going to win that. That's really fun and really exciting. Then once you start building, you have all those different scoring options, all those different ways to score. Not only are you scoring points for yourself, but you can be scoring points for other people. You got to decide, okay, am I going to try and score really big and just lap that track as often as I can and score as many of these stars as I can, or am I going to be a little more strategic and slow down and try and land on that star as often as possible to get the double score? And the fact that other people are scoring for you, like I said, that can really throw you off, but you can really mess other people up as well. Like if somebody maybe they're 3 points away from hitting that star, and you can see in their eyes they have a 3-point play coming up. And on your turn before them, you go, sorry, I'm going to give you 4 points, and flip them over, and they start all the way over to the bottom of the track with only 1 star instead of 2. So a lot of different strategy, a lot of player interaction, and trying to figure out what the other guy's going to do and how he's going to play his hand. So I really like that. It's a great game. Plays 2 to 4. I'd go 3 to 4. I wouldn't go any lower than that. The 3 to 4 player game is great. It's just, like I said, great looking game. Great components. It looks great on the table as it's being played, and that city's building up, and these tiles are stacking up in all different directions and doing different things. So if you enjoy city building games, you enjoy strategy games like that, something I definitely recommend. I think you'll enjoy. Sunrise City. Okay, everybody, thanks for watching this episode of Roll and Move Reviews. I hope you had fun and the review was helpful for you. Please leave me a comment, let me know either way. Be sure to visit our sponsor website, alteregogames.net. It's a great site where you're going to get a lot of great deals and a lot of great games. Be sure to check them out, alteregogames.net. As always, please be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our Facebook page, and if you'd like to contact me directly, you can reach me at rollandmovereviews@gmail.com. If you're interested in watching some of our other videos, you can watch them on YouTube, Facebook, Board Game Geek, or the Alter Ego Games site. Well, that's all I have for this time, guys. Until we meet again, have fun out there.